or a phrase. Four of you, we are going to create a core skill chain. Okay, for example, I say managing a noisy classroom. That is a skill. And she may have written giving positive, as I told you, giving positive feedback. Okay. And the chain can be, four of you will be joining, and the chain can be in a noisy classroom, positive feedback can change the atmosphere. Give a good classroom environment. Okay, so in that way you need to combine. So that is called a core skill chain. Okay, so now four of you join together. Four of you, you have your own skill and you need to make it a chain following one another. So it should have all the four skills. Your sentence should have all the four skills. Are you able to follow me? Okay, so managing a noisy classroom is another one skill. So how I can combine these two? By giving positive feedback, a noisy classroom can be managed. Okay, in that way, you need to combine the four skills and to create a sentence, right? Not here as a resource person or an expert. Both of us, I am going to learn from you and you are going to learn from me. Okay, it's just exchange of ideas. Yes, what are the skills you have written? Collaboration, creation, interaction, classroom management. Yes, these four can very easily be united together, connected together. Okay, right. Yes, what are the skills you have mentioned? Oh, you are ready with the sentence. Okay.
Proficiency, communication.
Okay.
Real life.
Real life. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Right. Okay. So you have framed it in the form of a sentence. Right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So all of you, you know all the core skills. We are going to, yeah. Okay. So how we are going to make use of these skills in the classroom, that we are going to discuss now. Can you listen? You need some more time. Some more time. Okay, please wait. Okay. First you tell the skills, followed by that you say the sentence. Okay.
Powerful language, moral values, pronunciation and appreciation, English proficiency, communication, sound English knowledge must be grammatically strong.
Okay.
And you have created a sentence.
So these are the various skills an English teacher should develop inside the classroom. Okay. Yeah.
A teacher of English should have a strong communication skills, moral value, must appreciate students whenever needed, and should be thorough in grammar.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Fine. 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 Yes. Group 2. Ready? Yeah.
Collaborative, creative, interaction, and classroom management.
Okay.
So for classroom management, we need collaborative, creative, and interaction.
For classroom a collaborative, creative, and interactive classroom can be managed easily. In that way, you need to revert the sentence. Okay, can be managed. Okay, right. Yes, group 3.
So the skills are fluency, communication, creativity, and connecting with real life examples.
Yes.
Teaching a topic needs fluency in communication if it is a verbal one. And if it is a non-verbal one, it needs to be creative and it has to be connected with real life examples.
Yes, very good, very good. Yeah. Group 4. Anyone, come on.
Good pronunciation with deep subject knowledge helps us to communicate clearly to the students, which would connect the real world to gain appreciation.
Okay, right. To give a lot of importance to the 21st century skills. And today's generation, so we talk about the alpha, beta, the children who are under your care today, they are alpha and beta generation, not Gen Z. That is over. Okay. And we are all boomers. And we are learning this 21st century skills today. Then how you should be? Because you are handling the present day's kids. Every day they are coming with new ideas. Every day they are asking for something new. And the palaya idu madri beating around the bush cannot happen in today's classroom. Every day they need something new, something they haven't experienced so far. So for in that classroom, we need to follow the 3 pillars of 21st century. So these 3 pillars are the learning skills, life skills, and the literacy skills. And among these 3 pillars, we are going to discuss more about this learning skills. We are going to discuss more on this learning skills, because these learning skills, we call them as 4 C's. All of you, when we were discussing about the core skills, in all your skills, we have these 4, you have mentioned these 4 skills. They are the critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and creativity. In an English classroom, since because English is a skill subject, always dear English teachers, remember English is a skill subject. It is not a knowledge subject. If it is a knowledge subject, if it is science, if it is history, we can make the children to memorize the fact. Okay, instead of being creative, they can memorize, they can get marks. But since because English is a skill subject, we need to give lot of importance to language skills. In the past, when we talk about the language skills, we were mentioning only LSRW. Develop LSRW, and in your lesson plan you would have written under general instructional objectives and specific instructional developing LSRW. That is the importance in developing the learning objectives of the students. But today we need to give lot of importance to critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and creativity inside the classroom. Okay, what do you mean by this critical thinking? What is this critical thinking? Critical thinking is the major skill that is necessary nowadays. As English teachers, how we can develop this critical thinking? Yeah, analyzing. It is not rote memorization. It is not remembering what the teacher says in the classroom, what is given in the textbook, but thinking out of the box, out of the textbook. Okay. So this, for critical thinking, we talk about Socrates. Socrates is a great Greek philosopher who lived long ago. But this critical thinking is the theory we follow from Socrates. Okay, so we need to teach the children why. Ask the children why, instead of telling what. Instead of just dealing in the classroom, surface level reading, reading on the line, no reading on the line. Why? Inference. Okay, so reason and reflect. Think, reason, reflect. That's what we need to tell the students. This is called as Socratic dialogue. This is called as Socratic dialogue. This Socratic dialogue means we ask the students to create knowledge by themselves. Don't give the knowledge as it is. Don't read the book and explain. ChatGPT can explain them. Gemini AI can just explain them. Why we as a teacher inside the classroom, more than what ChatGPT says and more than what Gemini AI says, we need to tell the students, for which help the students to create knowledge by themselves. Okay, so they should be autonomous learners. They should become owners of their learning. Teachers are just facilitators. You need to facilitate. You can't be the sage on the stage, but you should be by the side of the learner. Okay, so then the classroom will be critical thinking classroom. So ask lot of why questions to the students. So before going to a class, frame lot of questions. Read, recite, review. First, the teacher has to read, recite and review. When you read, we come across a lot of problems with pronunciation. We may not be knowing whether the pronunciation of the word is right or wrong. Okay, then take a moment, check whether the pronunciation is right, whether the pronunciation is with IPA standard. What is this IPA standard? International Phonetic Association. Okay, just check so that we can give the right pronunciation to our kids. Okay, so till today, even in our B.Ed colleges, students, they pronounce words wrongly. When they go for teaching practice, they pronounce words wrongly. Just normal words. Tortoise. How we are to pronounce tortoise? They pronounce it as tortoise. Where the problems lies with the primary school teachers. Tortoise. Okay, tortoise is the pronunciation. Deer. There is no such deer. That has to be pronounced as deer. But since because we teachers pronounce the words wrongly, they carry it even when they come to B.Ed college. They carry it with them when they go for teaching practice. And next year they will be joining in a school. There they will teach the children tortoise. Okay, so their problem lies. So in a critical thinking classroom, first the teacher should be a critical thinker. So out of this textbook, prepare for your classroom. Okay, if you're going to take a handle class for 45 minutes duration, please prepare for 1.5 hours, minimum 1.5 hours. For each word, don't give direct meaning for these words. Okay, instead, use the word in a context. That should be out of the lesson textbook. Okay, in the lesson the word would have been made use of in a context, but out of that you need to make use of the word. Help the children to make use of the word in context. And all the teachers, they will have their own worries. No time, because when I go for my teaching practice observation, my students will say, ma'am, they don't allow us. They will ask us to read and just to explain. But we as teachers, we should be passionate English teachers, because we are handling language, not subject. Okay, so first create an interest among the students. How we can create interest among the students? Only when you give real life situations in the classroom. Use the words in context, and when you use the right pronunciation, children can also use the right pronunciation. So please confirm whether your pronunciation is right, whether your spelling is right. Are you using the right grammar in constructing the sentences? Are you using accurate grammar? So that, because children, though all AI can come, though they have lot of material outside the classroom, yet most of the children, they feel that their teacher is their role model. They imitate from their teachers, and especially many children, most of the children, they have love towards their language teachers more than their maths teachers or their social science teachers. They have love towards you, and how we ought to preserve that. We have to preserve, isn't it? Because children are more lovable to us. How we can preserve? Only when we give more than what is given in the textbook. So be a critical thinker. Then make the students to be critical thinkers in the classroom, for which ask so many why and how questions in the classroom. Why the bread is square? Why leaves turn yellow? Okay, why the ball is round? Okay, like that. We come across so many items in our prose lesson or a poetry. So connect that with something else. When you teach about a tree in a poem, King Tree, that is a poem. Okay, in the lesson Poisonous Tree, in the poetry Poisonous Tree, a poison tree or a poison tree. Okay, a poison tree. We talk about a tree, and then you talk something else about critical. Bring in something else on critical thinking in the classroom. Make the children owners of their learning. You are not the master in the classroom. Help the students to learn on their own, so that beautifully you can create an interest among the students. So in this way, we need to create critical thinking in the classroom, okay, for which we need to ask lot of higher order thinking questions. What are these higher order thinking questions? Higher order thinking, hot and lot, you would have learnt. Yes, what are these higher order thinking skills? Please feel free. If you go wrong, no problem. Okay. I'm not evaluating you. I'm not assessing you. We are learning from each other. Okay. Yeah. Hot questions.
Creative answers they will say.
Yes, creative. First in hot, analyze, synthesize, evaluate. These are the hot questions. Okay. They need to analyze why, how, analyze, synthesize, break them into parts and giving that in a simplified part. Evaluation, they need to judge whether that information is right or wrong. They need to know whether they are getting the right information or not, authentic information or not. So this is hot. Okay, higher order thinking questions are to be asked in the classroom. So for which we need to ask analysis, synthesis and evaluation questions. But in our examination purpose, we have a blueprint based on, because it should be for all the students in the classroom. Average, slow learners, average learners, gifted learners, for everyone, we need to set the question paper. But inside the classroom, you can include all the students and accordingly, you need to frame the questions. So first take a lesson, take the first 2 paragraphs of a lesson, create higher order thinking skill questions. Never say, I'm in primary class and so no need for critical thinking. No. In primary class, it's easy to create critical thinking questions according to their level. You need to go down to the level of the students and you need to create critical thinking. So this is critical thinking. So in critical thinking, analysis, synthesis and evaluation questions are to be created by the teacher, framed by the teacher, and the teacher should ask such questions to the students, right? Then communication excellence. As teachers, how are we to develop our communication? Only when the teacher's communication is good, students can imitate. Already we have discussed that students, children, they take the teacher as their role model, okay? And even to their parents, they say, no, my teacher told in that way, so I cannot change. Even if the teacher writes the wrong spelling or gives the wrong pronunciation, children will say, my teacher. Okay, so how as English teachers, we can develop our communication skills? We have to talk in both the ways, teachers, learners. Okay, right. Tell me. Yeah, reading. Please narrate 1 or 2 incident what happened in the society today in the classroom. Give real life knowledge to the students. In your skill, you have mentioned that, isn't it? So give real life knowledge to the students. So reading, not only newspaper reading, every day make it sure at least for 10 to 15 minutes, you have to read something away from preparation for your classes. Not more. 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. Right. Reading. Then otherwise,
We can listen to some talks.
Yeah, listening. Okay, listening. So we can't listen for all YouTube videos for 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, etc. Simple podcasts are available. Listening, all of you may have heard about this. Okay, so listening, immerse in listening. Okay, listen. When you listen, you get the accurate pronunciation and the correct way of framing a sentence. Okay, so that knowledge you have to transfer to your children in the class. So first, as teachers, we need to strengthen our communication. Reading, listening, then imitation. When you listen to something, we start imitating. Okay, and how are we to develop our speaking and writing skill as teachers? How are we to develop? Yeah, communicating with others. Yes, have a speaking zone, English speaking zone for you with us. Okay, so first, never bother about mistakes. Okay, to err is human. Okay, but we need to learn, somehow we need to learn to speak in English. Only when the teacher speaks fluent English, the children can also speak in English. So first you need to develop yourself. And writing, that is also another one thing. So how you can develop your writing? Is it just to write by notes, writing notes of lesson? No. Other than that?
You can have a blog.
Yeah, very good. We can have a blog, personal blog you can have. Then, do you have the practice of writing reflective diaries? Principal of the college. Okay. Before that, I was an English teacher and I used to write daily reflection. When I was a teacher, I used to write daily reflection every day, evening before going home. I used to write what went well, what went wrong, how I can correct myself. Who are the students I gave counseling on that day, and what are the things I did for my professional growth. I used to write half a page or 1 page in a diary. Every day I used to write. And at the end of the year, I used to write a reflective portfolio. So in the reflective portfolio, that will come around some 6, 7 pages, sometimes even 10 pages. So what are the papers I handle? How about the result, and what are my achievement? I would have taken my students somewhere for competitions. I would have trained them. So all these things I used to write. For 5 years before I became the principal, I was writing all these things. And I felt very happy about that. But when I introduced that in the staff room, nobody accepted that. All my teachers, they haven't accepted it. But when I became the principal, I made it a point that all the teachers should write. Every day, daily reflection is a practice. Okay. So they have to write. Whether they come to college or not, every day they have to write their daily reflection. And in the beginning, there was so much of controversial opinion. And one teacher, she came and asked me, are they going to give you a crown, Sharmila? So you are following this, and all the teachers are not happy about that. They feel that it is a stress and strain for them. I just smiled and left it. Okay. But when this NAC team came, and we used to, at the end of the year, we used to submit the daily reflection as well as the reflective portfolio. And the NAC team was much happy about this daily reflection and reflective portfolio, and they gave us A++, which is the great achievement for the college. Okay. So please follow daily reflection. So every day there will be positive as well as negative. So one student would have spoiled your mood. Write it down so that bad moment will go out of you. When you write it down, that will get away from you. Okay. So reflect. And in nowadays, even in our mobile phone, there is reflective journal is there. Journal writing is there. I don't know. I used to write in my mobile itself, because you have gone this place today, and take a moment to write on that. I used to write, okay. But till today in our college, we follow this daily reflection, monthly reflection. This monthly reflection is, I used to share a Google form with my teachers and they have to fill in. And at that time, all the teachers can see that, because after that, we used to share the worksheet also. So she has done that much. I haven't done. So next time, I need to publish papers. They will make it a point. Okay, she has taken the students for competition. They won. I should also do that. In her class, she has conducted these many workshops. She has used these many strategies. She used these tools, digital tools. Why not I? That will come to this. This is a healthy competition among the teachers. It's not a bad competition, but a healthy competition among the teachers. So make it a point. Every day, take a moment, not more than 3 to 5 minutes. Just start writing some 4 or 5 sentences every day. Okay, every day from Monday onwards. It's for you. It's not the rule of the school, but a rule for yourself. Okay, so every day start writing 3 to 4 sentences. Yes, and means on how you can develop your teaching career. Okay, so you would have attended a workshop, a professional growth workshop. What are the takeaways? Write it down so that you will remember. Otherwise, we may not remember anything. So follow this daily reflection. That is one habit to improve the writing skill of the teacher. Okay. So these are called as 4 C's, and they are the learning skills of the 21st century. So critical thinking will come with problem solving. Critical thinking will come with problem solving. And the third one is collaboration and teamwork. So what are the collaborative activities you give in your classroom? Can you tell me? Collaborative activities? No collaboration, just you alone talk in the class? No? Yes. What collaboration? Very good, very good. Then?
Whatever they have understood, they have to share it among themselves.
Yeah, peer.
Yes.
Peer sharing. Okay, right. Then? Artwork. You collaborate, you form as a team and they will be doing that. Okay, then. What other collaborative activities? Only role play? Group discussion, she told. Group discussion.
Group study.
Group study means one student, the peer learning.
Yes.
Okay, one student will be peer learning is the best way of learning, teachers. Okay, so more than they learn from you, they can learn easily from their peer. And also, peer teaching is a way of learning too. So help children to learn from their classmates. Okay, so role playing, your group discussion, group presentation, peer learning. Other than that, don't you give think, pair, share activities? Pairing 2 students? Yes, think, pair, share activities you give. Okay, then project, group project? No, individual project only. Individual project, are the students doing those individual project or the parents doing the individual project? Parents doing the individual project. Okay. That is the major problem in all the schools. They are, this board is asking the students to do the projects, but it is very difficult. But there are some AI tools where you can help the children to do the project by themselves. Okay. If time permits, I will introduce few such tools also to you. Okay. Yeah, collaborative activities that will help the learners to learn by themselves. Okay, more than student-centered, your class should be a learner-centered classroom. Okay, learner-centered classroom, in that way, involve all the students in the classroom. When you ask question, only the gifted children, they rise up and they give the answer. Not all the students in the classroom. You may not be including all the children in the classroom there. But when you give them group work, make it sure that the group numbers should be not more than 4 or 5. If it is a large group, only those gifted learners will be talking in the group. Others may be left out. Okay. For which, make your group small, and the teacher should facilitate. The teacher must go around and to check what is going on in the group, and if necessary, the teacher should help the learners to understand the point. Okay. Understand what is the problem given. Okay. So like that, give more collaborative activities in the classroom. Make it sure, if you teach, how many lessons will be there in an English textbook? 8 lessons. 8 units. 8 units. 8 units means 8 prose, 8 poems, 8 parts of grammars, 8 supplementary reader. Okay. So 8, only 8. Okay. For 8 lessons, for each lesson, each prose lesson or each poetry, for 1 unit, 1 collaborative activity, you need to plan. At least 1 collaborative activity you need to plan. And critical thinking, that should happen within the class when you teach itself. So in all the classes, critical thinking will come. Communication excellence should be a part of the everyday classroom for both the teacher as well as the students. So 3 things are over. For 1 collaborative activity for each unit. It can be either from prose or the poem. Okay. And the last one is creativity. How the teacher can be a creative teacher? Are we to be creative, or are we to help the children to be creative? Student, both. Yeah, both the teacher as well as the learners, they are to be creative. In an English lesson, how you can be creative?
Poem, write your own poem, creative poem.
Okay.
Another one is grammar examples we can give.
Okay. So, when you teach a poem, take few words from the poem, ask the children to create a poem on their own. Okay. So, when you teach vocabularies in a lesson, in the prose lesson, making use of those vocabularies help the children to create a story by themselves. They will be understanding the meaning of the word, as well as they know how to use the word in the context, and then make the students to read out their stories. Then you can correct the pronunciation. If there are pronunciation mistakes, you can also correct the pronunciation of the children. So when you are creative, you develop grammar, pronunciation, and words, vocabulary. All these things can be enriched when the teacher is creative in the classroom. Okay. Building a story. Giving a role play. Okay. Just teach the lesson, leave it to the students. Now it is in your hand. You have to take different roles. Come, act. It is collaboration as well as creativity. Help the children to create knowledge by themselves. Okay. So they need to be creative. So when we talk about critical thinking, we were talking about Socratic dialogue, where the teacher is to ask why and how. And secondly, in communication excellence, the teacher has to develop communication and to train the students to develop communication. Thirdly, collaboration. Give lot of collaborative activities inside the classroom. And fourthly, we spoke about creativity. So, be a creative teacher. Not only from the textbook, out of the textbook, we have to train the students. So, these are the learning skills of the 21st century. Okay. And then, I'm not going so deep into these life skills and literacy skills, because in English classroom, normally as teachers, we should develop these 4 C's. Okay. And these life skills, they are called as flips. Life skills are called as flips. Flexibility, leadership, that leadership development is not that one. Flexibility, leadership, initiative, productive, and social skills. These are called as flips. Okay. This has to be deleted. Flexibility, leadership, initiative, productive, and social skills. Flexibility. How are we to be flexible in the classroom? Don't have rigid rules in the classroom. Okay. So, be adaptable. Okay, sometimes now I am here with you. Okay, sometimes there may be failure in technology. So this may not be working. My PPT may not open. At that time, I can't say without PPT, I can't take class. I can't give this session. I need to be prepared. I need to engage the students. If something fails, you may have thought of conducting a test to the students. Okay, but the students may not be ready to write the test. Then you haven't prepared anything for that class. What you will do then? You'll give a revision. Revision? No, that's not right. What else you can give? You need to engage the students. Okay, what you will do? Students are not ready to write the test. Okay, you haven't prepared for that class. But for that 45 minutes, you are to be in the classroom. Otherwise, the principal will come and check your classroom. What you will do? That's what we do in the college. Okay, we'll ask them to go to the library. Okay.
Ask the kids to recall some of the lesson.
Okay, okay. Be creative.
They can come forward and say that lesson in their way, how they understood that.
Okay, okay, very good, very good, very good. Okay. Instead of the teacher asking whatever questions are given in the textbook, whatever questions you are planning to ask, instead, just make the students to come to the front and to say whatever they know about that lesson. Okay, then, other than that, engaging the students. Why not you think out of the lesson alone? Something else to make them engaged. Yeah, very good. Okay, creativity. Okay, just there are so many words, so many new vocabularies are there in the prose lesson. Just write those vocabularies on the board. Help the students to develop a story. Make use of the word and frame one sentence. And she has to continue with that sentence. So in that way, build the story in the classroom. That is one way of creativity. You are engaging the students as well as you are developing their language skills. You are helping the students to learn grammar, pronunciation, vocabulary, etc. Okay, so that is one way of engaging the students. Very good. Then, okay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Very good. Okay. Just that is also creativity. How this is the way we have to bring in creativity in the classroom. So we know all these things, but we are very much with that. Our focus is only on the textbook. Our focus is only for the examination. But remember, English teachers, our children, they expect a lot from us. And our children from South Tamil Nadu, South India especially, and South Tamil Nadu, they find it very difficult to pass on the interview. Though they know a lot of things, they couldn't pass the interview because they are not good in communication. But we as teachers, we should come down to the level of the children, and we need to do a lot of these creative exercises, give a lot of such creativity in the classroom, engage the students so that you can develop their creativity. Is it clear? Break up. What time is it? 11 aita. Listening and reading. Okay, receptive. Expressive and receptive. In both the things, we need to be clear, and then you can make use of communicative language teaching in the classroom. Okay, help the children to communicate, help the children to speak in the language inside the classroom. And then the next one is project-based learning. Give projects, simple projects, classroom projects to the children. Projects in the sense submitting large things, etc. It is not so. Even inside the classroom, give a group discussion and make the children to submit that in the form of a project, and help one student. One student can be the secretary or the reporter of the group. Okay, that student has to report in front of the classroom. So project-based learning, PBL, that can be followed, and technology, integrate technology inside the classroom. Okay, so like that you have to select the right method. And model development, already we spoke a lot about that, because children always they take the teacher as their model. So you have to be the best model for the students, because in your demonstrate your own lifelong learning journey. So every day you learn something new. Model that in the classroom so that children will imitate the teacher. Okay. So model development and evaluate impact. Regularly assess. Everyday assess how effectively you are reaching the students. It is not just showing your bombastic language in the classroom. It is not just making use of so many methods. I learned all these methods, I am making use of this in the classroom. Not like that. Assess, evaluate whether that particular method which you are making use of is effective in the classroom or not. Sometimes all the methods may not be effective in the classroom. All the methods may not be effective in teaching all the lessons. Okay, so you need to follow a combination of many methods. Because inside the classroom, we have different learning styles that we will be discussing in the next slide, I think. What are the essential skills for the English teachers? Okay, so when we talk about the methodologies, when the teacher follows some methods, the teacher should be excellent in communication, both in verbal as well as non-verbal communication. This non-verbal communication is very much necessary for English teachers. Why I say that it is necessary for English teachers particularly? Non-verbal communication plus English teachers. Think a while and tell me. Yeah, they are dealing with feelings, the affective filter. Okay, so affective filter, we have the valuing, feeling something. Okay, we feel with some character. Okay, we become one with the character. Reading beyond the lines. Okay, when you teach a script to the students, when you teach a paragraph to the students, you need to feel with the students. Okay, so the non-verbal communication, your facial expressions, the emotion that has to be shown on your face when you teach it. When I was studying, our teacher used to teach us Shakespeare. She used to be Macbeth. She used to be Othello. She speaks in such a way, till today I remember the words. Okay, how she was going near Desdemona and talking. So all these things, till today I remember, even after 30 years. I remember that class, the facial expression, the emotion that was delivered by the teacher. So when you teach it, first you feel the lesson, feel the poetry, so that your emotions can be felt by the students. Okay, so read with the emotion, read with the character. Remember, when you teach a poem, you are teaching critical appreciation. Always, since because we are language teachers, of course, board exam is very much necessary. They have to pass, they have to score marks, etc., etc. Let it be in one side. But being language teachers, we have to develop the communication excellence of the kids. Okay, we have to make them good citizens, develop the social skills, for which our non-verbal communication in the classroom, that counts a lot. Posture of the teacher, the posture, that counts a lot. How the teacher stands in the classroom, where the teacher stands in the classroom. Okay, even if you are tired, you are unable to walk, sit in the middle, so that you will have the eye contact of all the students in the classroom. Okay, don't stand in one corner. When you give group works to the students, don't think just you have given work, assigned a duty to the students and you can be free. It is not so. Go around. You are the manager. You are the facilitator. So go into the group and check what the students are doing. Help them. Okay, so pat the child. So it's excellent. You have given the right answer. Even when someone says, your saree is beautiful, you are very happy. isn't it? So that's an appreciation. Everyone will wait for that appreciation. Even a 80-year-old mother in the church, when I see her, auntie, your sari is beautiful today. அப்படியாமா இத 30 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னால வாங்குனது பாத்துக்க. That word will be ringing on in her mind the whole day. So why not be with our kids? We need to be, isn't it? Your work is excellent today, but when they fail to do something, doesn't matter. I will be with you. We will fix it together. That signposting language, that is called as signposting language. It doesn't matter. What went wrong? Why? Come to me. I'll help you. Let's do it together. Give that hope to the student. Give that confidence to the student. So you're all handling children below the age of 16. But I'm handling children more than the age of 20. Okay, even they expect these sort of expressions from the teachers. Ma'am, அவங்க ரொம்ப ஹர்ட் பண்ணி பேசிட்டாங்க மேம். டீச்சரை சொல்லுவாங்கல. ரொம்ப ஹர்ட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க மேம். Last year in my classroom, one girl, she was not coming to the class for 3-4 days continuously. And on the 5th day, her mother came to me. Okay, and she was telling, my daughter was very much upset because of you. Because of me, your daughter was upset. I haven't spoken with her anything. In the class, you were telling the students when distributing the answer scripts, you were telling, after completing BA English Literature, why you have written this in such a bad way? இவ்வளோ மோசமா ஏமா எழுதுனீங்க நான் கேட்டேனா? For the whole class. And the girl has absented herself for continuously for 4 days. That happened. 21 plus years old. And you are handling kids below that age. How they feel. And parents are there to encourage children. Oh, நீ இப்படி சொல்லிட்டாங்களா வா சண்டைக்கு போவோம் வந்துடுவாங்க. So we are in a situation, we are teachers are in a stressful situation today. But make it
plus and 70 plus children are sitting in one classroom. There it may not be, it may be very difficult for the teacher to go in with all the kids, okay? So you can have one-to-one, teachers should know the individual ability of each child. Why your face is not good today? Something fishy is there. When I see your face, I can feel something different. Yeah, the child will have some confidence. The child will build some confidence for the teacher. Okay, organization. So organize your lessons meticulously. Hard questions. Prepare higher order thinking questions, lower order thinking questions, and give that training to your kids. Okay. So when you want to teach a particular lesson, plan it meticulously. That is, what are the audio-visual aids you are going to make use of in your classroom? How you are going to proceed? First, frame questions. In the framing questions, before the lesson, what are the questions you are going to ask? After the lesson, what are the questions you are going to ask? When presenting, what are the questions? Write it down. Have a notebook for that. So only when we write 10 questions, you can ask at least 5 questions in the classroom. Okay, because of the limited time duration. Remember that? Okay, so organize your ideas. Make use of the time in a productive way. What are the activities you are going to give your students? Remember, you should develop critical thinking, collaboration, communication. What's the creativity? Yes, very good. So all these 4 C's are to be developed. For that, how you are to plan the lesson, whether it is a poem or a prose or grammar or whatever it is. From these 4 C's, any 2 at least should be made use of in that 45 minutes duration. So start with a creative exercise. Give some games to the students. Give some activity. Make them to think. Okay, so you have to start, you have to be productive in your classroom. And confidence, already we spoke about this confidence. You should give confidence to your children. You should be approachable for that. Be approachable. Okay. And after talking to the child, reflect on that. Why the child is talking like that? What is wrong with him? Sometimes we learn from the child. Okay. The child may be giving new ideas. Brainstorm. Before starting a lesson, brainstorm. Get all the ideas from the kids. Okay. So, when you write the idea of the child on the board, the child will become more confident. It's mine. I have given that idea. And that is on the board. The child will be very happy. Okay. So, give confidence. And remember, we are learning together with the child. We are not just leaders in the classroom. We are also learners in the classroom. And we are not sage on the stage, but we are to facilitate learning. We are managing the classroom. When we manage the classroom, we have to give a lot of importance to our pronunciation, our grammar, our construction of sentences, and the ability of the kids in the classroom, the children in the classroom. So, then active listening. You should be a listening teacher. Okay, all the teachers may not listen to children. Okay, they want their part to say in the classroom and to go out of the classroom. They want to lead the classroom. Never be like that. Be an active listener. That will also create confidence for the students, for the teacher. So, reduce teacher talking time and give more opportunity for student talking. How we can help the students to talk in the classroom? We have already discussed that. Can you tell me? Improve student talking time. How are we to increase student talking time? Ask them to tell stories, building stories. Okay, yes?
Giving activities.
Not in all the classes we can ask them to come and say about what happened on that day. About that lesson. Okay. Summarize. Okay. Then. What else? Activities. Yeah, role plays, very good. Then what other activities we discussed? Group discussion. Peer learning. Yeah. Okay. So like that, creative works in the class, creative activities in the classroom. Like that, make children, give lot of opportunity for the children to speak in the classroom. And patience. Of course, all the teachers have to be very patient with the kids nowadays. Okay. So they are naughty. They will commit a lot of mistakes, yet inside the classroom are young people. Okay, they are my children. Okay, never give them up. Okay, be with them, help them. When they fail, go near them. Reciprocal learning. Yeah, read and come. After yes, they read, they came to the class, they know something. Okay, and you have to identify whether they have understood or not. What is the exercise you can give in the classroom? Very simple. Always you give. No, always no questions. Yeah. Creating a question on their own. Okay. Yes, concept maps. Mind maps. Okay. They read already. Let them create the concept map. Let us discuss with the children. Okay. The teacher as well as the students sit together and discuss. Remember, this activity is not possible in all the classrooms. But in one unit, at least one such exercise. Either for supplementary reader or the prose or the poetry or even for grammar. We can have such exercises. Remember, out of the 4 C's, for every unit, two activities at least should be made use of. Okay, and lifelong learning. Lifelong learning for the teacher. Professional development for the teacher. So, lot of universities are giving free online courses. So, American English, American State University that is giving more free online courses. I learned this writing reflective journal only from an online course. Okay. So, register yourself for some online course. It may be for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks courses are there. It won't take much of your time. Every week you need to submit one assignment. There will be a lot of interactions and you need to participate in those interactions. They are all free courses, and at the end of the course they will give you a certificate also. And only those who have completed literature, they can alone register in those courses. Okay, that will give you a lot of ideas. So I learned the methodologies of teaching English for primary learners. All these courses I have done only from these state universities, American state universities. Okay, so that will help you to understand lot of new things. So now we have learned about 10 essential skills for an English teacher. So what you are going to do now is you are going to